So here's the deal. This has been the busiest and most expensive week of my life. That's not a joke. We'll get into that in a little bit. And
yes,
legitimately, if I wanted to do a track this week, it physically could not have happened. There's just no way it could have happened.
You're only one man.
I'm only one man.
And I'm not going to do it, so.
Wait, what do you mean you're not going to do it? I thought this was a partnership. I thought we were in this together.
Well, you have all that fancy equipment, and you're just, a better player
You've
than
got
me.
fancy equipment too, and you're a damn good player.
Oh, what that? Nah.
That?
That's not even plugged in.
Sure.
That's all for show. It's just empty shells.
$5,000 worth of rig back
I just buy broken things on eBay and Reverb. Ooh, speaking of broken things, do you ever just like look for broken stuff online? Probably not. Okay.
You know why? Well, you know why I don't do that, Zach? Because it's broken and it doesn't work.
Well, okay. So I recently got a Maxon OD 880, which is like the precursor to the OD1 and stuff. And the same seller in Japan had a AD 900, which is like the older brother, the simpler version of the AD 999, which we both like.
Sure.
And it was $87 because it had a broken power jack. And I was like, what? So I'm bidding on that because a power jack is $2 and it's 2 wires. So, and they sell for like $300. So I'm going to snatch that.
Man,
I love doing
just get into flipping stuff. Just sell Mythos and then get into flipping broken pedals.
Oh man. So before we get into anything, I think we should talk about this because this is something that, well, wait, no, let's do our week.
Let's do our
week.
And
then we'll talk about something because this is actually something kind of important.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me, well, first off, welcome everyone. Dipped in Tone episode 34. Here we are. We're doing it. And, oh God, the chat, you guys, wow. Shout out to the Patreon chat. Just added a whole bunch of new people. People are, wow, you guys are intuitive here.
They know what's up.
They know what's up. Not ready to announce anything just yet, but yeah. If you want to join in while we're recording live, you can do so. Follow the link down below. Click the Patreon. Also, I plugged the podcast in my new video that's going up today, so hopefully there's a whole bunch of new people here this week. Welcome.
A lot of people unsubscribed from us.
Oh man. So how was your week?
It's just the same. I'm a broken record, I just build pedals and eat and sleep and repeat. But I a lot of the parts and whatnot have been coming in, and so I'm getting ready to just this next week tackle even more stuff. But just dealing with headaches, like software not working. I know that you've had your own share of that this week, but like. I don't know why.
I forgot about that. I had blocked it out of my memory, and you just brought it
sorry. Back. I don't know why I can print a label shipping something to Japan from UPS.com, but my ShipStation account, even though it's tied to the same UPS.com account that I use, can't print a label going to Japan. Like those little things that really get under your skin and make you just want to I don't know, lay face down in your bed and cover yourself up and never get out of bed.
Yeah, I had a whole day of that this week.
So get into it.
Let us all right.
Tell us.
So this legitimately okay. This has probably been the biggest, busiest, definitely most expensive, craziest, most hectic week of my life. The fact that I got a video done this week is a miracle. So starting off last weekend, my truck got stuck in the driveway. Long story short, nobody cares about. Brakes seized up. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. My truck's old. It's 13 years old, 240,000 miles. It's a Toyota. I'll drive it forever. But long story short, it needed about $5,000 worth of work. So it was in the shop all week. Was trying to work on my video course this week, and this computer back here literally wouldn't work. Wouldn't work. And I spent the whole day, had to reinstall the operating system twice, had to completely wipe the hard drive and reinstall from a backup. Just wouldn't work.
Oh my God.
That was fun. I had to pay taxes this week. Oh
yeah,
boy.
Me too.
Wow. And we got a house under contract. It's finally happening. We've been looking for about a year. It's taken us about a year of looking. We've been saving for 3 years, and we miraculously got through the market and everything, and we have a house under contract. The deal's not done yet, but we feel really good about it. And we spent the whole week doing inspections and getting sewer lines run and termite stuff and having our builder come by and look at it. And, so fingers crossed, it's looking like the deal's going to go through. And if it does, we close on May 6th. And with that in mind, if that happens, the days in this room here are numbered.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've gotten the Marco Polo tour, so I've seen it, and I'm excited. I think it's going to be wicked. And I think you should leave that wood paneling in the basement.
So the house was built in 1974. It's been one owner.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
The person who built it in 1974 and his family, they lived there for almost 50 years. It has a basement, which will be a recording studio. The basement is laid out perfectly for a recording studio. Should I post pictures for the Discord? This won't go up on the
yeah. Here, let me show everyone my new house.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Well, I'm not. Nobody will ever see the exterior because I'm not trying to
right. Yeah.
Put myself on to dox myself or something like that.
Sure.
But I'll show you pictures of how the basement. Our plan is to renovate the basement and do a video series on the renovations, turning it into a home studio that basically we spoof this old house.
Yeah.
And I'm serious, man. I want to do an intro asset with everything, and I'm trying to get Sweetwater to sponsor it and some other people.
Is Bob Vila still alive?
I don't know. This old house is still going though. They've got 41 seasons. It's awesome. It's all on YouTube.
Yeah, he's still alive. Okay.
Okay,
Good, because he's awesome.
Yeah, so...
Or he was. I don't know. If he's ever done anything that makes...
maybe he's not awesome. I don't know.
Wait. He's a great host of that one television show he was on.
All right, so I'm going to post 3 pictures up here. The first one is what will be the control room. The second one is what will be the live room.
Yes.
And the third one is... what will be the storage area, and we're going to build an amp vault, sort of like Tim Pierce has.
Right.
So we're going to have an amp vault. And it does have a bar in there, which I'm going to leave. The bar is going to stay there.
Oh, you got to
leave the bar.
Are you going to... I feel like if you're going to leave the wood paneling anywhere, you got to leave it in the bar
I think we
area.
are going to leave the wood paneling up because
and get a bunch of gold statues and gaudy stuff. Just do it. Make it like a 70s how to drink set.
Dude, seriously, we were talking about the vibe that I want down there is a super vibed out 70s recording studio in LA minus all the quaaludes and cocaine.
Right. Just bring in a big piece of a remnant of shag carpet, just pour beer on it, and every time you're down there so it gets that smell.
Well, and I'll just smoke a few cigarettes. I won't actually inhale them, but I'll just blow them around just to get the ambience,
Oh God. Speaking of that. Okay.
Oh yeah. Tell the people about your knobs.
Oh, okay. So this is actually part of my week too. So I bought, for those that have followed my Instagram, a few months ago, there was just a knob shortage, and the knobs that go on the Wildwood, which are the same knobs that go on the Klon, they just disappeared, right? You know, the manufacturer, they were so behind, and all the dealers, they'd sold out. And so they recently went back on sale, and I bought all of them. And then just a little while ago, more showed up, and I said, you know what? I'm going to buy all those too. So I just have them, and they showed up, and I kept the box sealed, and I had it in the garage. I was like, something stinks. And so a few days ago, I was cutting open my boxes and going through all the new, stuff that had arrived. And the garage just started smelling like cigarette smoke. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I thought one of the neighbor's kid was standing beside my garage door just smoking cigarettes at night or something. Because it reeked.
Right.
And so Morgan has like a bloodhound nose. She came in the garage and we're just like smelling. We're like picking up the packages and smelling all the packing peanuts and stuff. And she was like, that box reeks.
Yeah.
And the packing peanuts smelled terrible and all this stuff. So yesterday I tore down all the cardboard, put it in recycling, got it outside, threw away all the packing material that, was not recyclable, unfortunately. And put all the knobs in like big plastic bins and thought, that's fine. That'll do it. Smell's gone. Left the garage, come back, still smells. And so I have to go put the knobs out in the sun so the UV can hopefully cook the smell off of them, but they still smell. And they were outside yesterday for like 8 hours.
Here's what I think you should do. I think you just put them on, and what's going to happen is collectors in the future, when Mythos is like super sought after.
Marlboro version.
Yeah, they're going to be the nicotine. It's going to be like the nicotine. Oh, dude, that's a nicotine Mjolnir. Like, what? Oh yeah, man. Dude, smell it. Do the knobs smell? Oh yeah, they do. They still got the smell. Yeah.
I call it the camel.
It's the Pall Mall series.
Oh, but yeah, so that I don't like that smell. And anytime if you ever, like, I take that from a non-smoking home thing on Reverb listings very seriously.
Yeah, dude.
Because if it shows up and it stinks, it's probably going back.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can't do that stuff either. I've gotten packages before where similar kind of thing where you could tell whoever at some point delivered it or warehoused it or whatever smoked, and it's just like, my God, dude, it's
Paul Cochran, the builder of the Timmy. Have you ever bought a new Timmy? Was your Timmy
my Timmy
new?
Was new.
Did it come in the white box with the paper towel?
Yeah, I still have the box somewhere.
When I got mine, and I've always heard this, that because Paul's just like building in his basement or garage, just smoking, building those things. The paper towel, the whole box just smelled like cigarette
smoke.
I don't
remember. I mean, I got that probably years and years ago, but
yeah,
I still have it somewhere. I could go dig it up and smell it.
They're not labeled, so if you did have it, you'd be like, "What is this?"
Well, I'm pretty sure it's the only pedal box I own with a paper towel in it. So
yeah, it's very nicely rolled, and it's like a U shape.
Oh, is that Bounty? Sick.
Yeah,
Yo, is that Bounty?
So the thing I wanted to talk to you about, and talk to the people listening and watching about, because we talked about flipping.
Yes.
And this is not the topic of the day.
No.
This is just a little taste.
Just a taste.
I was recently at a shop talking to the guys that run the shop, and they were upset about how people like are just buying everything they can to only flip it and never play it, never enjoy it. And it just ruins anyone else having the opportunity to try something. Because like, let's say the Klon KTR.
Right.
The KTR is fine. It's a good pedal.
Yeah,
like, it's a great sounding Klon. Yeah. But they're like $250, $300 new, something like that. And people are now selling them for $700 something dollars.
Here's the deal. People can ask that money, but anyone listening, people here in the Dipped in Tone family, okay, do not spend $700 for a Klon KTR. Don't do it. Don't feed into to these people trying to like make a quick buck on a pedal that's good, but objectively, in my opinion, is not. I would not pay $700 for a KTR.
Right. Well, the thing about it though is like so many people, instead of buying them to enjoy them and deciding like, hey, this isn't for me, they're buying them with the sole intention of flipping, because Reverb has kind of given everyone this ability to say, hey, I can have a shop.
Yeah.
That extra room in my house, I can fill it up with stuff.
Right.
Restring it, clean it up, sell it, whatever. And the real problem with it is that dealers are just getting the shaft.
Right.
And the builders too. The builders making something, selling it. The dealers making 40, 30% maybe.
Yeah.
And then you have someone buying it and making 200%.
Yeah.
They're making an insane profit, and all these other people who are doing all the work are suffering. And it's like, we need to come together as a community and like you said, don't buy from those people, but also discourage that sort of behavior and reinforce the dealers that we want.
And I think there is value in flipping, right? If you're the type of person that you enjoy, let's say you enjoy buying a project guitar, or you buy an amp that needs some work and you fix it up and you get it back in playable, great condition, and you sell it for more than you paid for it. Great. Love that. That's awesome. What we're talking about are the people that are hoarding gear as an investment to try and make a couple $100. I agree. Douche move. Not cool.
Well, and Hunty Boo said maybe the builders should ramp up production. I mean, a lot of this, there's only so much a person can do.
Yeah.
You know, one of my Wildwood Mjolnirs showed up on Reverb. People were talking about it in the chat in Germany for like $1,200, and then it went down to like $800 something, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just wait a few months, you'll get one.
Yeah.
But you know, even still, it's just why?
Yeah. Yeah. And Sugartooth in the chat says that's not flipping, that's scalping. You're right.
100%.
It's scalping.
100%.
You're scalping. If you're doing that, stop it. It's not cool. And I think so what, you're going to make $200 on a pedal to, you know, and because some poor sucker feels like they have to have a KTR right now. Right. It's a two-way street. First of all, scalpers, stop doing that. Second of all, people, stop paying those prices for those pedals. Like, especially the Klon. There's so many different Klons out there, right? Try and find a Mjolnir, which are getting harder to find. Get a modded Soul Food. Get an Archer. There's so many different options, especially for the KTR. Like, I can understand the hype around the original Klons, right? Like, okay, well, they're not made anymore, and there's a certain number of them, and the hype around them, I wouldn't pay that money for them, but all right, that's one thing. But the KTR I had, and I got rid of it because it sucked. On 3 separate occasions that I remember, it might have happened more, I was on a gig, and I would go to step on the pedal, and it wouldn't turn on because there's a ribbon cable that connects the foot switch to the circuit board, and the ribbon cable would just come out of the foot switch in the pedal.
Yeah.
And so I got rid of it because it was unreliable. And I actually got on the phone with Bill Finnegan. I was like, hey man, this is a problem I'm having. What should I do? He goes, oh yeah, that's just, they just do that.
Yeah.
Like, oh
yeah. I know, it's a shame. It's a shame.
Cool.
And Rob Pierce, who works at Fender, he said Fender's been having a hard time, and they're Fender.
Yeah.
Just because the demand is so huge. And he asked, do you think it's going to slow down after the post-COVID world? I think it might.
Maybe.
But, like Cooper Effects just released another version of the Generation Loss.
Nice.
Loss. Jeez.
Nice.
I'm so tired.
Stupid.
Idiot.
God, so dumb.
But those sold out crazy. And then immediately, and somebody in the chat was also saying, they see a lot of people posting their pre-orders.
Yeah.
For sale, like you saw with this the Lunar Silver Sky PRS, like people posted that their pre-order, for sale for crazy money. I just think we need to come together as a community and stop purchasing these things,
right?
And really just be patient and reach out to the stores we want to work with that actually carry this stuff and embolden that relationship. So maybe hopefully this will kind of fizzle out, because I'm all for, like, hey, you can't get this. It's $50 more or 25, like that. I understand it.
Yeah.
But double, triple, it's insane.
Okay. And we have to also, in the effort of evenness here, so I've made videos. This is a thing somebody was talking about here in the chat, like Josh Scott, the JHS show, and I have been responsible for driving prices up on some stuff, especially recently,
sure.
Right? Like the Drive-O-Matic, or the hot cake. Shout out to Lost in Crystal Canyons, sent this to me this week from New Zealand. These have gone up partially because we made videos talking about them and how great they are, and people were looking for them. So I understand that. I'm not going to take this pedal knowing that it's worth more now and put it up on Reverb for $500 because, I made a video driving the cost up and now I'm going to make a few $100s on it. Like, that's not cool. This is a cool pedal that I like, and I'm going to keep. Same thing with the Drive-O-Matic. Like, yeah, you can't find them. So I could arguably go put that pedal up on Reverb right now for $300, $350. Yeah. And somebody out there who watches my channel or knows about the pedal or whatever would be willing to pay that. But I'm not going to do that. If I was going to sell that pedal, I'd probably sell it for what I paid for it, just because I don't want to be a part of that, like, the scalping thing.
Yeah.
So
I know it's a weird thing, and it's something that I do hope fades.
Yeah.
But I don't know. the guitar community is so huge, and I feel like reverb has a big fault, a lot of blame,
Yeah.
because like there's no control, people can sell things for whatever. And we have the same mug again today. Burp.
Hey,
Tink.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Hey, man. Prost.
But anyway, that was just a thought, and let us know in the comments on YouTube and stuff, like what you think. What
Reverb store name? Rhett touched my pedals.
Oh, I thought you were laughing at me.
No,
Oh,
the
geez.
chat. $50 used Rhett picks. That would be the douchiest move you could ever used on a video. $50.
Anyway,
Has anybody done that? Has there ever been like?
there's used picks. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about like YouTubers though. Have YouTubers?
Oh.
Like, because I've sold gear that I've gotten for, like, to buy my Vox, my AC30 last year. I sold some gear that I got for free, but I sold it like pretty much all of it at like a 10% discount from what they were going for.
Sure.
Does anybody know of any YouTubers out there that have done that? Like flipped used
Selling
gear?
picks and stuff?
Well, just gear that they've used and like uprated it or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, all those like, well, probably not YouTubers. No. I don't know. Mary Spender, we're looking at you.
That's something on the list of things that Mary would do. That is so far from the top of the list.
I know. She's not like, I know that. I'm just messing with her.
Oh man.
But let's dip a rig. Let's cleanse our palate here.
Let's cleanse our palate.
And I don't know if I can pronounce this gentleman's name.
Hey man.
But here's the rig.
Oh,
Boom.
I saw this one come through the email.
Yeah, this one's Lars. And so he said, I thought I would submit my rig for assessment, and I'm glad he did, because this is wicked.
Beautiful.
So what have we got here? We have a 63 custom shop telly with a light relic, a Matchless Phoenix 35 EL34s. I'm not familiar with
I don't know the
Phoenix.
Phoenix. That's cool.
Yeah. And then his pedal board is like, mwah, nice. Vox Clyde McCoy Wah, Keeley Compressor Pro, Wampler Tumnus Deluxe. I'm a little hurt.
Little hurt.
No Mjolnir, but that's okay.
No chance for a self show this week, but we'll get him next week, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll get him. Yeah. Hudson Broadcast, Brown Amplification Protein, an MXR 10 Band EQ, Wampler Terraform, which the Wampler Terraform surprised the hell out of me because of how small it was. I saw pictures and I thought it was like a Strymon timeline, but it's like a little teeny thing.
Right.
Carbon Copy Deluxe, T-Rex Roommate, Boss RC 10R looper, and a Boss tuner. So
beautiful rig.
Dude, what do you think about this?
This is another rig that's right up my alley, man. So first of all, the telly, beautiful. I love that color. My mom would call that Tiffany blue. Anything that is close to that sort of like baby blue kind of thing, she's like, I just want you to have a guitar that's just Tiffany blue, and I just want it, and it'll be mine, but you can play it and you can keep it. That's my Wanda impression.
Tiffany blue. That's Tiffany blue.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, it's Tiffany blue.
Well, what is that? Sonic blue or no? That's Daphne blue.
It's Daphne blue.
Because Sonic blue is super super pale.
Yeah. Beautiful though. Custom shop, rosewood board. Love it. I mean, I wonder, did he say what the weight is on that telly?
No, he didn't say. Yeah. It's probably pretty light. I feel like custom shop does it right.
Yeah. The Matchless Phoenix. Okay, so you said this is EL34 powered.
Yeah, let's look this thing up.
That's cool. So it looks like a Lightning, same chassis, same size cabinet and everything. Is a 112 combo, or is that a 212? I think it's probably a 112. If it's the same as the Lightning, it's probably a 112 combo. I love Matchless amps. Love them. Never owned one. I really want to have a DC30 one day.
Yes. That
would be if I ever wanted to like really do the AC30 thing right on the road and have an amp that would be roadworthy that did the AC30, I'd get a Matchless DC30.
Yeah.
Or the HC30. Because have you ever moved to DC30?
Like picked one up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's my God.
No, it's not a rig. I think it's a 2x12.
Oh, nice.
That's not an amp you want to have to carry much.
Unless you've got a crew with you.
Right.
If you're playing union venues, by all means, man, take whatever you want. Because as soon as you pull up to the door, you've got those stage hands rolling out and just grabbing your stuff. It's awesome. But if you're playing clubs, don't take that amp.
I just found a Reverb listing about this amp, and it doesn't have a whole lot of information, but I just want to read you these bullet points because I think they really speak to what this amp does well. 2 channels, bypassable master volume, good, baller tone,
sweet,
35 Class A watts of tube, and then louder than crap.
Well, yeah. Well, if it's 35 watts Class A, that's a beefy boy right there.
But yeah, I don't know what makes this different than like a DC-30. It still has like an EF86, but I'm sure
it's got to be
weighted.
something in the tone stack is different. Although the control layout looks similar to like a DC-30. You've got the 2 channels, and then the left channel is, I'm assuming, is like the click channel, which is sort of what Fred does with divided by 13. And the pull master volume is a really nice thing on the Matchless amps, where you can pull it and it essentially pulls the master circuit out of the tone stack, right?
Yeah. So
and be prepared, because my God, like even if you have the amp relatively low, when you pull that master volume out on a Matchless, it's like it hits you in the chest, man.
Oh, they're so loud. There was an Avenger, which is a great amp name, that was at Carter Drink. That was a 112. What it was 112 and 210s.
Yep.
Weird. It sat around forever. It sounded awesome, but it had that pull master volume. I'm not a fan of the master. I don't think it's a great sounding master when it's down.
Yeah.
But like, I think master volumes on amps that are like in this sort of vein work best. Just kind of dialing it back a smidge. Yeah,
I think so. My 2 favorite master volumes. One is actually not a master volume, but it's what Morgan does with the power scaling.
Right.
That's brilliant. I think that is a really, really good option, because you're not choking the amp. Basically, you're just essentially starving the power section, depending on how low you go. And it does change the sound, but not as much as a typical master volume. That, and then the K master volume on Bad Cat amps, which are really, really cool, because what they do is actually let you add gain to the power section. So on my Cub 40, which is in the other room, the actual like top end of the master volume is like 1 o'clock on the master knob. And then as you start to go past 1 o'clock, you're adding gain to the power section. So it's not necessarily getting louder, but you're getting more power amp saturation out of that amp, which is super cool. And when you turn it down, it does a pretty good job of keeping your tone intact. So
yeah. I normally like a post phase inverter circuit, but every amp like reacts differently to different masters. But let's talk about this pedal board.
Beautiful board, man.
So and he's got a quarter master.
Yep.
Is that what that is?
Gig rig.
Got the gig rig. What do you think?
Beautiful. So great job getting the quartermaster. Again, this is one of those rigs where if you're gonna have your pedals placed in such close proximity like this, I believe it would benefit you to have some kind of looper or switcher or something, which he's done here with the quartermaster from Gig Rig. Also, I just noticed almost every one of these pedals are the what size Hammond box is that? The
that's a 1590 BB footprint.
Yeah, so they're all the same size basically. Even that T-Rex, it's just turned.
It's turned the other way. Yeah.
The Pro,
that's my favorite size enclosure.
Yeah, I like them too, man. I think it's a good. So the Hudson Broadcast, awesome. The Keeley Compressor Pro, awesome. The Protein. I think I talked about the Protein recently on Shill of the Week. That is probably my favorite overdrive recently. I really, really love that Protein. Haven't played the Wampler before. Heard good things though.
I think I've played the Tumnus Deluxe. It's neat. It has like an active 3-band EQ, or I don't know if it's active, but it has like a 3-band EQ instead of just a normal treble control, like a Klon style thing. And then it has some sort of gain or clipping option.
Yeah. And then speaking of EQ, the MXR 10-band here. This is something that I think a lot of people overlook on their pedal boards because it's not like exciting, right? Getting an EQ pedal doesn't seem fun, but it's something that I feel like everyone should have on their board in some form or fashion because you can do so much with an EQ pedal.
It's something that you should definitely have in your closet at least. I need to get just a Boss GE7 and mod it because it's just handy, you know?
Yep.
The Carbon Copy Deluxe, they're awesome.
Great.
You can subdivide. I think that it's still got modulation.
Yep.
It's got a little screen
on
which
it.
is nice.
Hey, man.
It's got a screen,
Got a screen, baby. Woo!
I've never played the Terraform by Wampler, but Brian and company make great stuff. And I know that they spent a lot of time really working on that thing. So I'm sure it's awesome.
This is a great rig, man.
Yeah.
My God. I'm going to... Go ahead.
The only problem I have with it is I can't use wah-wahs on a pedal or on a pedal board. I have to use it on the floor.
Why?
Because when it's up like that, it's just not, I'm not as effective of a wah user when it's on a board. I mean, like when it's on an angled board. When it's like flat, it's fine.
Zach.
But I really like wah-wah, and I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit. I'm really good with a wah-wah. And I just like it on the floor. I use my left foot with a wah.
Hey, man, you ever see me play wah-wah? I can kick a wah with the best of them.
Man, listen, give me that yellow Fazel, however you want to say
Man,
it.
I'm best wah-wah player east of the Mississippi.
I'm just saying. I like it on the floor.
The old Broyles wah-wah
That's
technique.
That's the only points I would deduct. Everything else is really good. I can get with it the rest of it.
You ever kicked a wah with the best of them?
Nice.
Rename you Clyde.
Name you Clyde, boy.
All right. I'm going to give this one. So here's the only thing I would change. I think you need a humbucker guitar. A humbucker guitar with this rig, specifically a Les Paul or Les Paul style guitar. I think a Les Paul with the telly with this rig would be just biblical. So get yourself a humbucker guitar. You've earned it.
Yes.
You've put yourself together a hell of a rig here. You've earned yourself another guitar slot here. And if you're gigging with this, which is a very, very giggable rig, this is possibly the most giggable rig we've seen so far. You're going to need two guitars. Always bring two guitars to a gig. Have a backup. And if you have a Les Paul, I mean, you got all your bases covered, basically.
You definitely have to bring it back up in case you drop that Les Paul and break the headstock.
Yeah, of course.
No.
I always travel with 4 Les Pauls, personally. But hey, man, what happens when you're a pro like me?
Listen, I have a mono backpack that's got it can hold 4 guitars.
I had it custom made. You know, most people get the double bag, but I wasn't enough for me. So I went to mono. I told them boys, listen, I need a quad. And you'd think it'd be like 4 deep, but it's not. It's double wide. So it's 2 and 2.
Double wide.
It's double wide. Or you can unzip it in the middle and you can wear one in the front like a child, you know, like you're carrying a kid, and then you wear one in the back. It's awesome.
Oh my God. A double wide kickback.
That needs to be
genius.
That needs to be a Chibson post.
Absolutely.
Message Chibson double wide gig bag.
So what's your score? All right,
I'm giving this 8.7 shoils.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a lot lower than I anticipated.
Only because it's missing the humbucker guitar, man. I feel like if you added the humbucker, this would be close to at least a 9.5. But yeah,
I was thinking 9.43.
Ooh, Zachary, is that your highest rating yet?
No, we've gone higher. I think even though there's not a humbucker guitar, I like tellies enough to where like this is doing something. This is a thing.
This is blowing your skirt up, huh?
Hey, that's it.
Man.
All right.
Whatever tickles you pickle, you know what I'm saying? Oh, God.
Anyway, so you want to get into our topic of the week?
Yeah,
Finally, we can start talking about
What is our topic this week?
Well, okay.
You kind of mentioned it before we started rolling, and I'll admit I wasn't really listening because I was trying to set all this stuff up, and I was like, yeah, it sounds great. So for those that don't know, Rhett and I we pick out a topic sometimes the day before. Yep.
Maybe every now and again there'll be like we'll get a week.
Yeah.
We might text each other like, oh, this is a good idea. But normally it's as soon as we start live streaming together before we go live for YouTube, like we try to figure out what to talk about. But last night, it's coming back from the store, and I thought, you know what? I'm about to have a lot of big life-changing things happen for my business and just my life in general. And Rhett's about to have a bunch of stuff like that happen.
Yeah.
So maybe we should talk about because maybe there's someone else out there that's is in a place, and is going somewhere else, and that, you know, they're sharing this experience or want to go on this journey themselves. We could talk about where we hope to go and maybe where we see ourselves in a year's time or so. We're taking the next step in our careers, I think.
Yeah. It's a big step too. I mean, it's like, it's scary, wait, do you want to announce what you're doing yet? Have you talked about that?
I think I might as well.
Yeah.
I haven't asked the guys, but I think it'd be fine. I don't think they're going to get bent out of shape.
Here it is.
So the big news, I'm moving in with Novo.
Whoa.
Novo is growing and they're going to rent some space to me.
Look out. Hey, man.
It's going to be really bad for my gas with guitars and stuff because I know Dennis is just going to walk by and like knock on my door and be like, hey, look at this. And then walk away and I'll say,
oh, God. Oh, no. It's also going to be bad for just your gastrointestinal system because I know how those boys eat lunch over there. And
Morgan will pack my lunch. But yeah, it's so exciting. And I think last week their contractor, because the space they're moving into is right next to where the current space is.
Yep.
And I hope I'm not giving too much away. I didn't ask them.
You'll be fine.
But we're going to have to connect the two spaces. And so we're just waiting for the contractor to wrap that up. And then we're going to do some stuff. And
so whenever you go down to Nashville, Tennessee, because it's looking like they're going to open the showroom back up at some point pretty soon, I think.
Eventually, yeah.
So you'll be able to visit Novo again. And not only will you be visiting Novo HQ, but you'll also be visiting Mythos HQ.
I'm having the contractor put a lock on my doors. So.
Well, you can look at Mythos HQ's door when you go to Novo HQ. And just
put your face on the window.
Just imagine Zach back there just soldering cables.
Well, I mean, there's going to be a lot of really cool things happen. And just like Novo, I'll probably have some sort of appointment thing where we can visit and like artists can come and see stuff. But yeah, so I'm getting a production room. I'll have an office space. There'll be warehouse space. There'll be showroom space. There'll be video production space. There's going to be all sorts of stuff that we're going to share and do together. That's really going to, it's going to change everything.
Yep.
But it's daunting. It's scary, like you said. So, and what you're doing, you went from like being in an apartment to being in this little studio space to now actually building a studio, building exactly what you want, hopefully.
It's so scary because it's like, it's a lot of money. To do what I want, I don't know how much it's going to cost, honestly. And it's going to be a big project, but the plan is to do a full studio. So control room, floated walls, floors, ceiling, live room, nice and live, take that drop ceiling down, do a bunch of stuff, at least one vocal booth, probably two vocal booths, the guitar vault, everything wired up, and I want to wire the space and get it prepped for eventually I'd like to have a console down there. Andy,
yeah.
My very good friend who engineered the backstage live shows, I've basically dubbed him the YouTube channel and studios like master engineer. Andy is the man, and he's a really good friend of mine, and we work together all the time. So he and I are kind of planning out this build, like what do we want it to be 5 years from now? And I would love to have a 24 channel analog console down there. And essentially what I want is a space that is ready and capable to produce any type of project that I could conceive over the next 10 years and produce it at a professional level. When I think about where I want to go and where I want to be 10 years from now, I would love to be producing media and music and things that are picked up and you see on Netflix or HBO or write music for film and like put out records channel. Like the test. Don't joke. I'm serious. Like I want to do that kind of stuff. And I've been really fortunate to have this space for the last few years, even though it's not perfect, but where I started my YouTube channel was in a bedroom facing a road that for 6 hours out of the day had so much traffic in it that you couldn't film. So yeah, it's been 3 years of really hard work getting here. And, but it's also kind of scary because it's like, am I actually good enough to warrant having a space like that? That's sort of where I'm at. It's like, do I deserve? I just make YouTube videos about guitar stuff and like I play gigs, but like, do I deserve a space like that? Is it going to be wasted on me? Like that's sort of where I'm at right now.
Yeah. And where do you hope, in the next couple years that everything goes? Just taking the step of like growing beyond just making YouTube content and producing music and doing. I guess you just said that.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but
I don't know.
Like, where do you see your YouTube channel going?
Well, this is actually really fascinating because we've been talking about this with some people. I think YouTube is here to stay. For a few reasons, because it has the infrastructure of Google behind it. And the thing that YouTube has above all other social media platforms is the fact that it's actually not a social media platform. YouTube is a search engine, first and foremost. It is Google.
It's the second most used search engine in the world after Google.
Exactly. And YouTube has established its place in the world as a place where people go to learn things. Above all else. I mean, yeah, you can go watch and you can entertain, you can watch vlogs and stuff, but above all else, YouTube is a place where people go to learn. And as such, I think it's here to stay. So I want to continue my YouTube channel and I want to continue to grow it. I want to continue to grow into doing new things, trying out new things, seeing what works, what doesn't work. But I also want to do stuff outside of YouTube. I want to make records. I want to make my own music and put my own music out at some point. I want to do stuff. I'd love to make a documentary one day. There's just so many things that I want to do and I want to make. That having a space and having the resources available to do that would make it more realistic.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to accomplish so much more quickly because you're not going to be stepping on your own toes because you're going to have all the space, have everything dedicated and be where it needs to be to do all the things you want to do.
Yeah.
Which is so important and something that I feel every time I open the door to the garage.
Yeah.
I no joke. I'm pretty anxious.
Same.
And there are some times when I walk out in the garage and I almost have like a panic attack because it's just it's a mess because I'm so busy, but it's also, I am but one person and it's hard to organize and work and clean and then keep, working to produce stuff, and so that's, I think, the most exciting thing for me is finding some balance in my life.
Yeah.
And I think that you're probably feeling the same way too.
Yeah. Part-time PV or part-time pilot in the chat said PV documentary. Hey man.
Oh man.
Hey man, if PV made a documentary, I'd watch it.
Let's hold on. What does Hartley Peavy look like and who could we get to play him?
Oh my God, Zach. Okay. Did you ever see Ford vs. Ferrari, that movie from a few years ago?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
How do we make Ford vs. Ferrari, but with Hartley Peavy?
Oh man, who? Okay, I'm gonna post a picture of Hartley Peavy in the chat, and I'll post it on the video as well. Here,
get Brad Pitt.
I don't know if Brad. He might be. So yeah, who do you guys think could we get to play Hartley Peavy?
Hey man, if Peavy made
future?
a Brad Pitt, I'd watch it.
All right, there he
is. So, wow, dude, that's like a. Here, okay. Hear me out. You get Christian Bale to put on some weight and grow a goatee.
That poor bastard. He's grown and lost so much weight.
It's true. Or Steven Seagal. Yeah. Or Chris Hemsworth.
I'm trying to. You know who he kind of looks like?
Jeff Bridges would be cool.
Oh, Jeff Bridges would be great. He's a little too old, and I mean, like he'd be like the current Hartley Peavy, but
Jeff Bridges is too old for current Hartley Peavy. Or the other way?
No. He works for the current Hartley.
Guy Fieri. Hey, you know what? Listen, on a side note,
he's a great guy.
Yes, I am here for it with Guy Fieri. He is such a good guy. Every time you hear stories about him, it's about him like helping people or keeping a restaurant afloat or helping somebody start a restaurant or like the internet loves to shit on him, for his Flavor Town and his restaurants. And I get it. He's got kind of a goofy aesthetic, but come on. Like For a guy to have a career as long as he's had in the food media space and to be doing it for as long as he has, like, you got to be a good guy, you know?
Yeah, I've heard nothing but nice things, and yeah.
His style sucks.
His style sucks. I thought I saw him once in Nashville, and it was just a dude that dressed like him, and I was really disappointed because
I'll be honest, if I ever met him, I'd be like legitimately starstruck if I met.
Oh yeah.
You know? Movie stars I don't care about. Like if I ever met Brad Pitt, it'd be like, oh, that's cool. You know, like your movies or whatever. But if I ever met Adam Savage or Guy Fieri or Alton Brown, I would be like a hot mess.
I think Alton Brown would be a jerk.
I've heard that. I know some people because he has a band, and I have a friend that I think engineered a record that he
has a band.
Yeah, and
what instrument does he
play?
He
plays guitar. But
lame.
Alton, if you're watching this, I love you. I heard nothing but good things. But no, I had a friend of mine who worked on a record with him and said it was not a great experience. But anyways,
well, he's gonna watch this and remember you. And if you do meet him, he's just gonna. Punch
I think
right
he still lives in Atlanta because he did.
Oh, shit.
He did Good Eats. Like that was all here in Atlanta, like North Atlanta, kind of near where I live.
Oh.
Yeah. Good Eats is one of my favorite shows of all time, though. For real.
Oh, it's great. It is. It is good. And I like him as the host of like Iron Chef and stuff like that. But anyway, speaking of Adam Savage, real quick, another sidebar. I sent a positron collider to Adam Savage.
You did.
Because I became a supporter of the Tested channel, and you can join their Discord, and then you get his mailbox, like for sending, stuff to the Tested mailbag. And I sent it to him, and I forgot to put my telephone number, my email address. I mean, it's in a Mythos box and it has my card and like I'm findable, but
nice, dude.
The day it got delivered, I was like, oh,
damn it. Shit.
I forgot.
Dude.
But I sent this nice letter and I'm so excited. I hope he at least opens it.
That'd be cool.
I don't care if he makes a video. I just hope that it winds up in his hands and he gets excited.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah. People are putting, I do love Alton Brown. Even if Alton Brown's a jerk, I don't care. I've learned so much from Good Eats and his stuff. And same thing with Adam Savage. If Adam Savage came out to be a massive jerk, I don't think he is, but I don't care. I love
the thing about Adam, and we were talking about celebrities, and this is something that I think anybody that has a modicum of fame has to accept. He said on a Q&A once that, how do you deal with being a celebrity? And like the people approaching you, and the thing is to just accept it.
Yeah.
And you have to realize that if you were them, you would be that excited too. And, while you can't give away all your time, it's just like, it makes the world a better place.
I think the best. So I saw Jerry Seinfeld in Manhattan one time. We were there for a gig and we were doing this thing that used to do. So sometimes when you're playing for an artist or a band, you have to do these like radio tour things where you go around and you like. So when I was with Muddy Magnolias, we used to do this every time we'd go to Manhattan. It would be me and the girls, and I'd have an acoustic guitar, and we'd go to like Viacom headquarters. We'd go to BET. We'd go to MTV. Time Magazine. You'd go to their offices and meet these people, and you'd play for them, and it's just industry shit. So we were out. I was out in front of the Time Magazine building. We had just played, and then the girls were going in for a meeting, and I was going to catch a cab back to the Airbnb, and I was standing out front with my guitar, and Jerry Seinfeld was standing there. And I love Seinfeld. I love comedians in cars getting coffee. I love everything he does. But I didn't want to like, I don't know. I didn't approach him. I was just standing there with my guitar. This woman comes up very clearly from out of town, and she's freaking out. She's like, oh my God, I love you so much. Can I have a picture? He's like, no, I don't do pictures. He wouldn't shake her hand or anything, but he was so nice about it. Like he handled it so well. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't do pictures. But he started asking her, where are you from? Oh, you're from out of town. Oh, have you been to this place? He starts recommending places for her to go eat and check out. It was really, really nice. And he spent like a minute and a half, 2 minutes talking to her. And I just thought that was great. Yeah.
I saw David Lee Roth once in Las Vegas, and I almost wanted to talk to him, but then he looked at me and it was like, yeah, it's me. And he just walked off. I was like, that's cool. All right.
Cool. I looked at David Lee Roth right in the face, man.
Hey.
Well, listen, back to the subject. Anyway. I think, there is people are talking about the imposter syndrome, about the, I had a few moments like walking around this house this week, like with the inspectors and stuff, looking around at it and just being like, oh, holy shit, like I'm about to be responsible for all of this. And like, what if my YouTube channel tanks? What if people stop watching my videos? What if I get canceled? Or what if I it all fails? Like, what are we going to do? How am I going to figure all this out? And like, we're building a studio. What if everything I make sucks? What if, all this stuff? And I'm like, I don't know how to deal with that, man. Like, how do you push through that? I don't know.
I think you just have to keep going on the path that you've laid in front of yourself. And cause that's how I feel. And the biggest thing for me doing, moving in, getting a spot finally and taking this next step, because it's something I've looked at. It's just, I'm so worried about, is it going to maintain, if, 6 months from now, are people just going to say, hey, no more Mythos pedals? Cause that happens. Pedals, they ebb and flow.
Yeah.
But I've backed myself into a corner. So whereas I feel like you have kind of outgrown your space, and I feel like I've done that too. I feel like I've been boxing myself in intentionally, or maybe not intentionally, but like I'm definitely my own worst enemy when it comes to releasing control and getting out of my own head about things. Cause even when Morgan comes in to help me like put pedals on, like I have to like lay it out how I want it done. And if she puts a jack in and it's kind of crooked, I'd be like, oh no, loosen that, make it straight. It's got to be like this. And like the wire needs to move like that to go to the jack. And it at the end of the day, does it work? Yeah. Will it matter? No.
Yeah.
So I'm really bad about that. So this is really going to be me pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. And the money, I'm going to have to pay rent. There's going to be a lot more expenditures because I'm going to have to pay people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thousands of dollars is going to just disappear, but it's the natural progression to taking the next step. And I feel like if someone out there is thinking about this, you just have to really, you have to take leaps of faith, I think.
Yeah.
And you have to believe in yourself, but you also just don't do everything on excitement alone. Really look at what you're able to do and where you want to go. Because for me, where I want to go is like being Josh Scott Jr. in a way. Like I don't want to have to build pedals all the time. It's not fun anymore.
Dude, it's so funny. I was literally about to say, so when we went out to Kansas City for the Pedals musical, we spent a week out there hanging out with Josh and seeing how his whole crew worked. I was literally about to say the same thing. Like, I kind of want to build something like Josh has built with JHS, which is not to say I want to build a pedal company. What he has built is a platform that has allowed him to chase the things and do the things that he really wants to do. And it's evolved over time. It started off building pedals and building the pedal company, and now he's kind of done that. I mean, JHS is the third largest pedal company in the world right now, behind Boss and like Electro Harmonics, basically.
It gotta be.
And so now he's doing things like he is almost single-handedly preserving the history of pedals and guitar of the 40s, 50s, 60s. That's what the whole musical was about. That's what his YouTube channel is about. That's like, he's built a massively successful YouTube channel as a side hustle. They're doing all kinds of crazy cool projects because he's built this platform that has allowed him to hire a really great team of people. He surrounds himself with people that are better than him at things, smarter than him, more creative than him, better designer, like just everything. And he's built an amazing culture of people around JHS. And now they are doing incredible stuff. And when we left and we're driving home from Atlanta, I looked at Tilly in the car. I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. 10 years from now, I want to be, employing 10 to 20 people making really, really cool stuff and telling stories and just, that's just all I can say. And I don't know exactly what that looks like. It'll probably be a few different things, but yeah.
What would you tell someone if they're wanting to take that next step, or maybe just the first step? And also, I don't like the term step. because like, I feel like you and I, like saying we're taking the next step. This is not a step. A step is pretty easy to get up on. This is a leap.
This is a leap.
You know, this is, but for the people that are wanting to go a direction or do the next thing in their career, or even, you know, just for their own, you know, self, that maybe that has nothing to do with money. Like, what would you say to them to give them the push?
You have to, well, I'm trying to think back about like 3 or 4 years ago when I was wanting to start doing YouTube. I never thought I would be where I am now. When I first thought about doing a YouTube channel, I was like, oh, I'll do some like pedal demos and it would be cool, you know, and I'll like play guitar and like teach some lessons and stuff. And in 3 years, which is a short amount of time, it has completely changed my life. It's buying me a house. It's building me a studio. It's built relationships like this one. It's given me so many opportunities. And none of that would have happened if I hadn't paid attention to that voice at the back of my head that was like, I really want to do this. I want to try this. Like, I think it'd be really cool. I think I could do it. I think I want to try this. I want to do this. If you don't pay attention to that, it's just never going to happen.
Yes. Yeah. I am of the belief that anything that you can physically do, you know, you can accomplish with hard work and effort, for the most part, you know, like if you have the will, you will find the way to get things done. And you do have to listen to your heart. Yeah. You know, I know that that's so lame, but it's true. You've got to like believe that, oh, this is what I really want to do. If you really want to do something and it is something that's been eating away at you for more than just, you know, a fleeting moment in time, you have to try it. Yeah. You really have to try. And my biggest advice for anybody doing whatever they want to do, I feel like a lot of us, and I did this in the beginning of my career, and I think a lot of people do this. They do half measures because they're scared of putting in the work to do, you know, the full measure. Yeah. And just do the work and do something to the best, to how you know it should be done. Yeah. Because if that puts you back a month because you got to save, because you got to read, you got to learn, you got to do whatever, you're going to get so much further ahead for that because you're doing it the right way. Yeah. Like for me, doing pedals, it's taken me so long to find out how I really want. That's not true. I knew how I wanted to make things, but I thought it would be easier or save me more time or whatever doing something a different way, where as in my gut, I knew I should make it the way I'm making them now because that's what I really want. If I open a pedal, that's what I want to see. Yeah. And so that's where I've ended up. And it's taken me years to just say, hey, what am I doing dicking around with all this other stuff? Just do it the way you want to do it and to the best of your ability. Yeah. And so I think that's applicable to everybody trying to accomplish whatever their goal is.
Pay attention to that little voice and also realize like you're not too old. I get emails from people all the time. Like literally honestly, it's probably 5 to 10 emails a week that are like, hey, am I too old to do this? Am I too old to get good at guitar? Am I too old to start a YouTube channel? No. If you are able-bodied, able-minded, and have the ability to do what you want to do, your age doesn't matter. Rick Beato started a YouTube channel at 55 years old. He didn't start producing until he was 37. I'm 31. So 6 years from now, that blows my mind. And he had success. He built a successful career as a producer. Like, no, you're not too old. And the reality is, if you're young and you're listening to this and you're worried about like what your career is going to look like and, oh my God, am I going to be successful or not? Like if you're in your 20s or even your early 30s, like just put the work in, take some time, take the opportunities, because what's happening is the stuff that you're working on now and the skills that you're learning now are going to inform a career path for you 10 to 20 years from now that may not even exist right now. Yep. When I graduated from high school, being a YouTuber did not exist. When I went to AIM in 2010, 2011, making a living as a YouTube creator around guitar and music online did not really exist other than for people like Marty Schwartz and Justin Guitar. Two people.
Right. Yeah.
Two people were really doing it. Right. So all that time I spent chasing those gigs, doing those sessions, teaching those lessons, like traveling across the country in a shitty van, like all that stuff put me in a position to build this platform now. And I'm still learning.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and that, that kind of goes back to whenever I first did your podcast, and I said, when I decided to take this leap, I started another bank account. I put $1,000 in it, which at the time, like that was a lot of money, to put it like just to take out of my, like, this is going to help pay rent, money. And I said, this is where it's, and in all fairness, I'd known how to build pedals,
right.
but I'd never really tried,
right.
I'd never really put the work in to say, I'm going to try to make this do something.
Yeah.
But I started with $1,000, and that has evolved to where I'm buying our house. I'm going to pay employees. And it's just been a lot of perseverance of will, but patience, and you have to keep your expectations grounded.
Yeah.
I have talked to a lot of people that think they're going to be the next, the next Rhett Shull, like on YouTube. It's like, it might not happen, but you have to carve your own path and do things your way. And if it sticks, great. But if it doesn't, pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, and look, that's how I've gotten to where I am. I pivoted. My goal when I got out of music school, what I wanted my career to be, I wanted to be touring the world as one of the best guitar players around, playing with the best artists ever. That's not going to happen for me. I'm not the best guitar. I don't have it. I don't have the natural talent, the natural physical ability, or the mental capacity to put the time in to become one of the best guitar players around.
Right.
I'm not.
Well, John Mayer said there's no prize for being the best guitar
player.
Right.
But at 22, I didn't realize that.
Right.
And I thought my definition of success was like touring the world, playing arenas every night, and, being one of the best. That's not going to happen. I will never be as good a guitar player as Josh Smith or Corey Wong or Mark Lettieri, or, name any Joey Landreth, Ariel Posen, like name any great guitar player alive today. I'm not that good. I will never be a Joe Bonamassa. I will never be a John Mayer. Like, I just don't have that. But here's the thing. Like, I have these skill sets that a lot of these other people I just mentioned don't have, that have allowed me to forge a somewhat unique path. And I'm still doing what I really wanted to do at 20 years old, which is like make a good living with a guitar in my hand.
Right. Yeah.
And in a way I've met that goal of like playing to thousands of people, because like you put a video out and it gets 100,000 views. That's an entire arena tour. Like an entire tour playing arenas, 100,000 people, 150,000 people. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. It doesn't look like what you thought it would look like when you were 21, 22, but in a way it's better than what you thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being flexible in what your end goal is really important. And I think a lot of that, like, the grand goals is just the being naive in your youth. I think we're all like that to an extent, but you just have to keep working and working and working. And a lot of people bring up the word luck, and I don't really believe in luck. There's a quote, I don't know who originally said it, but it's one of my favorite quotes, is luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we all need to approach our goals in life, with work, just anything. Be prepared and just be out there, so when the opportunity presents itself, you're willing to grab it. And you can't be afraid to grab it.
Yeah.
Like, it was so nerve-wracking for me to say, because initially I was like, I'm just going to have people make stuff for me. I'm not going to hire people because that stresses me out. I don't want to have to be a boss.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, this is the next like step I have to take. Again, step. that is going to put me in the place I need to be, both as a business and both just as a human being.
Yeah.
I need that help and I need people around me, because I'm not a social person, but working by yourself for, a full week just alone basically sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just, something has to change, and I'm just excited. This wasn't as like well thought out of a conversation as I never thought it would be.
Yeah.
But I just hope it opens up conversations, and
Yeah.
if you guys out there are listening and want to talk about it, or just tell us about your experience or where you want to go, I think it's good to I think one of the biggest things is just get it off your chest and put it out in the world.
Yeah.
So many people like hide their hopes and dreams, no matter how small they are. You just got to tell people.
And if you're ambitious, like, ambition is good. But I think ambition with a healthy dose of like reality, like is it needs to be, you can be ambitious and have lofty goals. I have lofty goals. I always have, but understand that like, okay, if I want to get there, it's not going to come easy. And then, Master, how do you say that? Master Masheteer in the chat says,
get an easier name.
Yeah. Some people don't have the opportunity. Some people have way more opportunities by basis of where they're born or whatever. And you're totally right.
It's true.
I've been afforded a lot of opportunities by where I was born, by, the color of my skin, where I grew up, by my parents. Like, I've been given a lot of opportunities that a lot of people don't have. And that has never been lost on me. And one of the things, I would love to figure out a way some point in the future to, be able to build something that helps people, especially in the music education space. I think music education is one of, if not the most important parts of your education growing up. And unfortunately, here in the United States, especially here in the Southeast, it's not valued, and it wasn't valued for me. And I had a really, really difficult time growing up as a kid because I was terrible in school. And I remember hearing conversations that my parents would have when I would bring home a bad report card. I was a freshman in high school, and I heard my mom say one time, she's talking to my dad, and I was failing like 3 or 4 classes, and she was so frustrated and just saying like, maybe we can just get him a job as a janitor at the church, or he can just get a job doing something, because I don't know what he's going to do. And I don't think they know that I heard the conversation, but I did. And I grew up thinking that I was really incapable of doing anything because I couldn't measure up to the yardstick that I was being measured against, which was like testing, standardized tests, and memorizing and regurgitating information in school. And the thing that I was good at, which was guitar, and the thing I had a passion for, which was music, wasn't valued where I grew up. It wasn't seen as important. It was seen as, oh, you're a band nerd. Oh, you shouldn't do that. It's not going to make you any money one day. You can't get a job at a Fortune 500 company playing guitar. You have to get a high score on your SAT and go to some college and get your 9 to 5 to be successful. And you know what, man? At 31, fuck that. Fuck that. Yeah. Like, it's, if I would have been shown earlier on that music was an opportunity and was a possibility, I don't know where I would be now, but I know for sure I'd be a better guitar player and a more well-rounded musician, Right. And I think that's really important. I think there's a lot of people out there like me, like you and I, and there's a lot of people watching this and listening to this right now who were in that position or in that position where, had they been shown earlier on the benefits of music and art and pursuing that, I just think it's a really good thing, not just for an individual, but for society as a whole. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's so important. And like, school to me is not like, I think you should know basic shit. Sure.
Yeah.
But like, it's just not, people in the chat, they're saying it's not preparing you for careers or life.
Yeah.
Like some kids don't even know how to like swing a hammer or sign a check. It's like the things that you might need to know how to do in life are not valued. And especially being artistic or having a hope and a dream, not even music. It could be anything.
Yeah.
And you just have to and I know it's a shame that not everyone has the same opportunities and the same, opportunities that both of us had growing up, the people we are and having, parents that were successful and supported our dreams and hopes and stuff too. But at the end of the day, the person who's going to believe in you more than anybody is yourself. And just never doubt that.
Yeah.
I think.
And there's a thing to keep in mind with opportunity. Opportunity doesn't guarantee success. Opportunity just means you have the option to put the work in, oftentimes to do it. And opportunity is important, right? Like without the opportunity, it's difficult and sometimes impossible to reach your goals and success. So, I don't mean to discount that, but also understand that like, people like us, my mommy and daddy didn't hand me my YouTube channel. They didn't.
Right.
They didn't make me. They didn't pay for my way through music school or any of that kind of stuff. Like, yes, I was afforded opportunities, but what you and I and other people have done with those opportunities, I think, is really what matters. And so, what I would love to do, and I think people in the chat are in agreement, is like, especially here in the United States, with our terrible education system, is sort of refocus the conversation away from your success being based in how much money you earn a year or what your job title is, but rather what are you doing with your life, and does it make you happy, and is it beneficial to society as a whole, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and there's a whole conversation around that based around like trades, like getting people focused on getting back into trades. I know Mike Rowe, who I'm a huge fan of Mike Rowe. Getting people focused on like going to trade school and becoming electricians and plumbers and all that kind of stuff. When I was growing up, that was seen as like, and where I grew up, if you became a plumber, that was like you were a failure, and you did that because you couldn't make it, you couldn't hack it at like getting your master's degree. Well, dude,
right. But they probably made more money than
you're damn right. Plumbers and electricians, like you own your own business, you make a killing, and you will always be working and always be in demand. Like what?
Yep.
What more do you want out of a career than that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plumbers are way more important than musicians and guitar players in terms of like keeping society running, So like, I don't know. That's a whole other conversation, but
yeah, definitely. Well, I think we started breaking the egg of like a lot of things. People in the chat were talking about, just a further conversation on men's mental health.
Yeah.
And I think that's something
dude,
that, everyone needs to be a little bit more open in that. But ultimately, I think what you can walk away from, at least from this podcast, is that if you have a dream, chase it. And when the opportunities come, just be ready for them. And, even like opportunities fail.
Yeah.
But you got to try. So,
yeah. Nice. Shill of the week.
Do you have a shill? Yes.
No. Let me see what
I do.
Okay. I actually didn't think about this until just now. Go ahead.
So I have, I got this pedal from
Philly Fuzz. Nice.
The Heretic, and this is made by John. I think it's made by John of Baroness, which is a wicked band, and it's hand painted, and it's a fuzz with just a like volume attack, and this is bias.
Nice.
And you know how some fuzz pedals, it's like when you crank it, it's it sounds great, and then you roll it back and it doesn't do anything. This one's usable. Like all the knobs are doing something and it works. And I don't know what it is. I haven't taken the back off yet. It has the world's brightest purple LED. I know that.
Oh man.
Cause I was like right over it when I turned it on. I do this with every flashlight too. I'm like, how bright is this? And I
Stared straight down the barrel.
Colors.
Have you seen that meme of Luke Skywalker in A New Hope where it says he's handed the most dangerous weapon in the universe, and then the first thing he does is immediately points it straight at his face? What's this? Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to hear that. What is it? Is it germanium?
I don't know. It said germanium in the ad, but it might have germanium diodes. I don't know what it is, but I do know it sounds good. And with fuzz, if it sounds good, I don't really care what's making it work. So
nice. All right. Well, my shill of the week is going to be a piggyback off of last week's episode about home recording. And it's going to be my interface here, the Apollo Solo from Universal Audio. Now, I did get this for free. UA is a sponsor of my channel, so shout out to them, and take these words with a grain of salt if you so choose. But I will say, this is their like entry level budget interface. I think it retails for about $499, something like that, $500,
something like that. Yeah,
2 channels. I think it's got 2 cores of DSP. So if you don't know, Apollo's UAD's whole thing is they have like the plugins and the software, and you use their hardware to kind of run the plugin, so it saves CPU on your machine.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. This is what I've been using to record the podcast basically since we started. It's bus powered, so you just run off your laptop over a Thunderbolt 3 cable, and it'll give you the opportunity to run Luna, which I really enjoyed using over the past year.
When it works. Which actually,
yeah, my computer problems this week were not because of Luna, but my God, it was a mess. But
so what's the difference between it and a twin? I mean, I know a twin, you have to power it.
Twin has more chips in it. So it's got way more DSP. And it's got other, I think the converters are a little bit better. But the Apollo Solo, it used to be called like the Arrow, and then I think they renamed it because it kind of fits more in with their whole branding thing. But
sure,
yeah, man, it's great. And this is actually what I take now when we have been traveling, and when we get back to traveling, and this is what I'm going to use on the road to make my videos and record stuff and everything. So, yeah, I'm a fan.
Wicked. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Remember to like and subscribe and do all the things
do it.
If you haven't already.
Do it.
We need to make all the animated little things that pop up for YouTube channels and stuff.
I have some. I got them off of Motion Array.
Send them.
Send them to me. Okay.
But thank you guys so much for listening.
See y'all.
Bye.